welcome back to our Hersey Hoops basketball podcast, Season 3. Joined alongside me, as always, is my co-host, Connor Krebs. Today we are joined by head basketball coach, Austin Scott, as well as senior Josh Bontje. So before we get started today, I just want to say how great it feels to finally be in person, Coach. Last year, doing the Zoom and all that, it's a little harder, but I just love being in person.
This has become one of my favorite rooms in the school. A lot of good memories in here, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
A lot of outtakes, a lot of funny answers, a lot of insight, a lot of bold predictions by Krebs, and then we're looking forward to more of that in Season 3. It's one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, of course, because I'm on it a lot. But you guys do a great job as well, and I'm excited to welcome Josh Bontje.
Yeah, first time on the show, Bontje. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for today.
All right, so with all that being said, let's jump right into these questions here. So we finally have a new basketball season upon us, and there are a lot of new guys this year, Coach. It was such a senior-heavy team last year, especially. What did you guys do during the off-season for preparation with some of the guys that didn't see the court as much?
Yeah, and there's a lot of preparation over the summer and then obviously the first 2 weeks of the season, and we do have a lot of new faces. We have new faces that weren't on varsity basketball last year, and then we have a lot of new faces that were on varsity basketball but perhaps didn't get a ton of experience last year. As you mentioned, our first 8 guys were seniors last year. So I think the junior that played the most, Josh, unfortunately suffered an injury too, so it was kind of another setback for us. But those setbacks are going to make our team stronger. But over the summer we had a lot of camp and things like that, and installing kind of some new offenses that kind of accentuate the parts that we have. And I think this team's going to have a little different identity. I think our calling card is going to be on the defensive end, whereas last year Josh and I were talking. Sometimes last year we could turn the ball over 10 times and still find a way to get 50 points with scorers like Ethan and Griffin and Randall and Wags and Wolf and Zags and Muggs. It's like, we had a ton of options. And not to say that we don't have options this year. I think it's just going to have to be a little bit more manufactured. And we got to pay attention to the details and maximize every possession. So that's something that we're really emphasizing in practice a little bit. But Josh reminds me of that on a daily basis as kind of like my right-hand man as an assistant coach, and calms me down when I get out of control. And he's done a great job, kind of emphasizing, and re-emphasizing what needs to be done on a daily basis too.
What do you think your biggest emphasis then for the younger guys would be? I know you got Jackson, a freshman, a couple juniors who will probably play significant minutes, even a sophomore. What would you say your biggest emphasis for them is?
I think the biggest emphasis is taking care of the ball. Taking care of the ball and playing defense. I think when you're trying to earn minutes, those are the easiest ways to do it. And the quickest ways to get out of the game are turning the ball over or being a liability on the defensive end. And that's something that, our seniors lead by example, too. I think they all pride themselves on their defensive effort. And we got to collectively take care of the ball a little bit better. Passing and catching has been a little bit of a struggle in practice, but that's an underrated skill, too. Passing's the name of the game. You can't shoot unless you get a good pass. You can't finish unless you get a good pass, so we're really concentrating on that from all 5 positions.
Who would you guys say are the big competitors this year in your conference? It's always such a close conference, 1 game difference sometimes. So who do you guys have your eye on this year?
JB?
I'd say probably the usual Prospect, Meadows, BG. I mean, no one has a crazy stud that we've seen in past years, so I'd say it's anyone's conference this year.
Yeah, Prospect, watching Owen Schneider now for 3 years, he's finally a senior. They got some guys still playing football that I know are key contributors to their team. The Christie last name is still intact over at Meadows, just a different face, and I think he's going to improve a lot and take off more of a role from last year. And they have a freshman on their team as well, and then some other guys that I know are really talented. Buffalo Grove, of course, lost Cam to Atlanta, the skill factory.
Yeah, I
can't get over that.
But
I still can't get over that.
They have guys that have talent too and are pretty versatile, guys like Adidas Davis. And then I know Elk Grove got a transfer from Conant, who's a really nice player. Was Conant's best player on the sophomore team last year, so they're going to be much improved, as is Wheeling. Wheeling's got Ima Iggy on back.
Wheeling's solid. I was thinking about it because they had a lot of juniors last year, and they're pretty solid. I was kind of
they're always hungry, and they don't like losing to Hersey. So I think you always get their best swing in Catland. It's not really my favorite trip to go over there. They play hard. They play really hard.
You mentioned Christie. Where did he end up going for college? Was that Michigan State? It was Michigan State.
He's started a little bit in the first couple of games, and he might be one of their better players. I don't know how long he's going to last in college. He might be a pro soon. So we kind of all knew that was coming. Like it's no surprise to anybody who watched Mid-Suburban League basketball over the last couple of years how good he is, or how skilled or fluid he is. He makes things look very easy. It's like Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback. He makes the game look very slow when it's not.
Josh, this one's more so for you. Being out with the injury for this year, how has that affected your role for yourself this year?
I'm more of supportive now. I'm not leading by example, so I have to be more vocal in my leadership.
And yeah, Coach, I know you kind of already touched on that, but how has it changed your role for Josh?
First of all, in the fall season, it's a different role for me because I get to be a fan, and hold the sideline sticks in football games and really just cheer for these guys. I'm as big of a Josh Bontje fan as there ever has been. I'm the guy on the sideline, second guessing Pardon, give the ball to Bontje, and I love 15. I want a 15 jersey, man. He pays homage to his days of youth watching Tim Tebow at Florida. That's why he wears 15. But, Bontje is such a steady leader and such a mature leader. And I think, although he's not able to be on the court playing for us this year, he would obviously love to be and we'd love him to be, his value is still instrumental because he, for example, I was at Carson Grove's home the other day talking to his parents about his role, and they talk to me about how important Josh has been and just teaching him, hey, you're the defensive stopper now. It can't be me. It's got to be you. You got to step up and play into the role. And, that probably was a 15 or 20-second conversation between Josh and Carson, two guys who aren't, the most conversationalist of all time, but they get their point across very quickly. And I think that his ability to do that, and when he does speaks, the magnitude of what he's saying is going to go a long way for us. He's going to speak in every locker room, give his feedback on first halves, second halves, what we can do to improve. He's involved in every coach's meeting. I ask him after practice every day, 3 guys who are up, 3 guys who are down. He always gives me, answers and insight, and guys who are playing well and what he's seeing and watching both ends. I trust Josh's eyes, and I trust his knowledge, and I'm selfishly thankful that I get him close to me to, again, calm me down and then give me insight into how we can be better. And Josh is going to be a great coach should he want to choose to do that in the future. Or his sons or daughters one day are going to be very lucky to have their dad coaching because Bontje, he's world class, man. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely, Bontje. You're one of the most experienced guys on the team this year. Is there anything specific you try to pass down to some of the younger guys?
I just try to emphasize, they have to take in everything. Because, 1 minute they might not be starting, but one injury later, they could be that guy that we need to step up. So.
And then, Josh, transition from football and everything with we have a lot of 2-sport athletes on the team. What is that like for all of you guys? Do you think it's kind of hard after a long, grueling football season, or is it pretty effortless?
I mean,
I think, and I don't mean to steal your stage here. I think that's how these guys deal with stress. I think they play sports, they compete together. I don't think our seniors have the most difficult class schedules of all time. It's probably compared to last year, but they still get stressed out about college, things like that. Jimmy's looking for a school. Josh is deciding on a school. Kat's deciding between, Western Michigan and Purdue, with aviation and things like that. There's a lot of stress on these guys, and I think the way that they release from that is by playing sports. So I think it's better for them to be in a sport than to, be at home on snap face keeping streaks alive or whatever they would be doing otherwise. Eating Oreos, like, Bontje's new favorite thing. But, I think they, again, if they would play football again in the spring right after basketball, they'd do that too. Like, that they're no strangers to the work and commitment that it takes to be successful either.
Yeah, and I'd say transferring from one sport to another, like, we're going to be rusty at the start, but, like, us 2-sport, 3-sport athletes, we love to compete. So any way we can, like, we always want to be competing. So we love transitioning from sport to sport.
Yeah, it actually, you reminded me, it was flipped last year in the spring, right? Because you started with basketball and then you went into football.
Totally. And Pardon got a little bit of a taste of, watching the first sport and making sure that nobody comes in injured and things like that. He's like, don't put them in if you don't have to. I'm like, okay, Joe, But it was definitely a role reversal. But they played, 2 football seasons in 9 months, and then now, obviously, another basketball season. So they've been busy. They've been busy for sure. Not a lot of downtime.
I mean, last year's schedule, too, for games, I feel like you had a game every other day, too, right? So at least now it's a little more
16
spread
games
out.
in 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever.
Crazy.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is me. My bad, guys. We'll get to see you guys in action for the first time this year at the Ed Molitor Classic. How have you guys been preparing for that? And was it were there tournaments last year? Or
no, there was not. So it was, we played that Glenbrook South non-conference game to start the year, and the rest was kind of the conference schedule.
That's what I thought.
So, our tournament play is back, and we're back at Palatine. We actually open up with the host school, Palatine, who has one starter returning, similar to us in a lot of ways. They're pretty young. I know Coach Millstone's son is a nice player, and Coach Wodlowski, the Fremd coach, his son plays on Palatine, so they're kind of, I know they'll be smart. They got a couple coaches' sons on the team, but they'll probably be a little bit like us, trying out some new things and some new people and see what fits. And then in the second game, we play Stevenson, who's kind of a perennial area power, and then Cary Grove, and see where we fall in pool play for the Saturday game. But it's always going to be a tough competitive tournament. And then coming out of that, we play Rolling Meadows, New Trier, Barrington, back to back to back, all on the road. So I think that'll be a good test to see what we're really made out of. 3 teams that are going to be ranked in the top, probably 15 in the state. So it'll be a good test for us and some good measuring sticks to see what's working for us at the Thanksgiving tournament.
What would you guys both say is like your favorite invite or tournament you guys do throughout the season?
I mean, with COVID and everything, I haven't been to a tournament yet.
Oh, that's right.
I'd say I'm probably looking forward to Pekin the most because we get to go down, stay in a hotel, and like all the upperclassmen, that's like all they talk about. Like the Pekin tournament.
They love Pekin, man. Like, so,
How far is it's pretty?
It's right by Peoria,
right?
so it's it's 3 hours. We go on the white bus, and usually December 26th. This year it's December 27th because the 26th is on a Sunday. But we take them out for a steak, and I let them get dessert for the first time, and they go, they're in hog heaven eating skillet cookies and stuff, drinking Coca-Cola. I mean, they're having a blast, and then staying in the hotel and things like that, and playing some teams and some schools from some different areas. It's just kind of a unique experience. Most people would complain about being away from, sleeping in their own bed the day after Christmas, but these guys love it. They just want to spend time with each other.
And then, almost last question. We started doing this last year with all the seniors. What would you say your favorite Hersey basketball memory is?
Before I say this, I just want to say this is not Coach Scott approved.
Okay.
But before the Wheeling game last year,
gosh,
we were trying to find open doors. So we walked up a set of stairs, and it was like the loading docks. And so there was a dumpster like right in the corner, and so the door was locked. So we were just standing there waiting for the coaches to come. They were parking the buses, and Ben Randall picked up Braden, and he was like swinging him like he was gonna toss him in the dumpster, but like no one actually believed that he was gonna throw him because like why would you toss him in a dumpster? I turn around to go, like everyone was going to check a different set of doors, and then we just hear a loud thud, and and we turn back, and Randall's just looking in the dumpster, and Braden's not there.
Let me provide some context to the story, because if this is the way I go down, I want to at least contextualize it. So again, like Bontje said, Coach White and I are parking the buses. I'm sure Braden had something to do running his mouth a little bit to Randall or with Randall, and at the time, obviously, I want these guys to be focused on the game. I don't really want them to be throwing our reserve point guard into a dumpster. But, that's sometimes when the cat's away, the mice will play. I told you, Catland, not my favorite destination for a variety of reasons. So you have to kind of go in the back. I didn't know which door was going to be open. I'm calling, Coach Rowley Jr., the AD there. He's like, it's door 30. I'm trying to find door 30. And meanwhile, these guys are having, Josh's favorite memory behind the school there. But Braden, it was all in good fun. They were laughing, and Braden didn't ruin any of his clothes or anything. But that's sometimes the things that happen that you remember, fortunately or unfortunately. But these guys, it's funny. That's his favorite. All the basketball we played, and that's Bontje's favorite memory. Crazy.
All right, well, that's it for our scripted questions. We
off the record.
Here we go. Off the record questions now, bringing
Coach
it back.
Scott's favorite part
This
of
is
the
my
pod.
favorite segment. I love this segment. I learn something new about these guys every time. I like to answer the questions myself too. After I'll let you take the stage.
That's
and
right.
collect yourself.
We have to make our Coach Scott ones again.
So we got a few favorites from last year we just picked out, and then Krebs, I put on the job to find some new ones this year. So
Love it.
let's get right into it. Starting with the one you were asking about coming in, Bontje, who is your celebrity crush?
Margot Robbie.
Hey.
Margot
100%.
Robbie.
He had it prepared too. He
Like
had it
Wolf of
prepared.
Wall Street, Margot
Yep.
Robbie?
Yes. Okay, I respect that. That's
Or
respectable.
like the I, Tonya Margot Robbie? Like, do you like when she's like a character actor in costume? Does it matter to you?
Wolf of Wall Street.
If her hair is
Wolf
colored?
of Wall Street. Go with Wolf of Wall
Yeah, so you're
Street.
going in a specific movie at a specific look.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm sure she's good looking, like outside of Wall Street.
But he
It's a
just
safe assumption, Josh.
Yeah. I can very much respect that, Josh. I like that.
She's not that
Yeah,
old.
we'll
I
give you some
think she's probably 26, 27. So
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, how long ago was that movie released?
Wall Street?
Yeah.
It was like
2009.
Yeah.
Or-
Oh, okay.
I think it's
it
a
might
little
be
older than
earlier.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So second unscripted. What is a meal that you can prepare on your own?
Oof.
I can cook steaks.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
in the
Bontje.
summer,
Pretty good.
I mean, I got a lot of charged steaks last
Good.
year, so I had to learn how to cook steaks.
His dad used to send me the pictures of when Josh would cook the steak. Now, you don't mess it up. You get it all, medium rare like you like it, or
Yeah.
and just steak by itself. Are you cooking some potatoes, or is
Nah,
that
just
Jim's
steaks
job?
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the meat.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a well balanced meal. Just
That's-
kind of.
I mean,
You're officially a
Easiest
Neanderthal,
thing to
man.
do.
It's not a Geico commercial. You can have some roughage on the side.
If you had to pick, while we're still on the topic of food, if you had to pick one food that you can only eat for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
Maku's definitely going cereal here.
I'd probably say pasta because you could like change it up a lot, or I'd say, but my favorite food would be lamb chops.
Right.
Lamb chops.
Lamb chops. That's definitely a new one.
Yeah,
Definitely a new one. I have
That's
not heard that.
very
One.
specific.
That is very specific.
Now, can you make any Indian cuisine? You got the curry going?
No,
Nothing?
I can't make any.
But you do enjoy it.
Not often.
Okay. So not something,
If I'm like
not something every day.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right, this one I add this year. Favorite pregame song.
Ooh. I'm always out of the loop with new music, so.
Probably Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Meek Mill.
I called them Meek Millions in my freshman class. They didn't.
I feel like Meek Mill is like the perfect pregame song guy. I feel like that's who everyone ends up.
He sends them out.
Yeah,
He's
for real.
Angry. Very angry guy.
I mean, it's
What's your pregame
yeah.
song?
I don't know. I was always, like when I'm in the mood to kind of like really compete, I was always like in my era, like Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. were like the angry ones, or like DMX. Like that would like, like DMX starts the dog barking and things like that. That always kind of got me pumped up, but I was never a huge music guy before games. And I have like, very interesting taste in music too, where I like country music, and I'm a big Taylor guy, so
I do have actually one more song on the way to the game. Always got to put on "Swing" by Travis Scott. Shout out Josh Cataldo. He knows what's up with that too.
Really?
Yep.
Travis Scott apology video, not good.
I haven't even seen it. I have not.
He
seen
analyzed it in my junior class. Not good claims of value there. He was struggling.
Yeah, that's
hire a producer to film your video, Trav. Come on, don't be doing that to our last name.
That is true.
Yeah,
both sharing the same last name. Didn't even realize that. What show are you currently watching?
I'm not really watching a show right now, but I'm a big movie guy.
Okay.
So my favorite movie that I've watched in like the past month on Netflix, I'd say, would be Snowden.
Oh,
Snowden.
I have heard of
I
it.
have not.
That's an interesting
the kid
pick.
from Angels in the Outfield.
What is
Gordon-Levitt. He plays Snowden.
what is that about? I don't think
Like the FBI.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the government like tracking like U.S. citizens, and like it was based on a true story, and like he wants to like leak that what they've been doing the past like 10 years or whatever, but like he's gonna be like wanted by the U.S. and if he gets caught, then. Like,
I haven't even heard of that one.
He's been on, like, the real guy's been on Joe Rogan's podcast, I think.
Any of you guys watch Yellowstone? Any Yellowstone fans?
My parents watch Yellowstone.
I have not
They
watched
love
it.
it. They love
Classic.
it. Is that what you're watching right now?
Oh yeah, new season. It's like the Sopranos on a ranch
Yes,
in Montana.
yes, it
it's
is.
Awesome.
That's crazy that you say that because I'm watching The Sopranos right now.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've never seen
My
it.
favorite
and
show
it
of
is
all
probably the greatest show I've ever
What
watched.
season are you on?
Only the first. I'm like right at the
Okay.
end here.
A lot
I'm
of character
finished.
development. at first.
It's amazing. It really is.
Tony
Like,
Soprano's my favorite
Tony, it's
character
it's
ever.
such a well done show.
Unbelievable.
It really
Ushered
good.
in the golden age of TV. I'm proud of
Yes.
you, Krebs.
I
Really taking that on.
I like good shows like that. And
Yeah.
my brother told me to watch it, so I had to hop
Absolutely.
on it.
It's not TV. It's HBO. Remember that?
Yes, true.
Okay.
All right, so favorite sports team. It could be pro, college, whatever, whoever you end up watching more.
I'd say I watch the Hawkeyes the most. I mean,
Okay.
like I just like watching college sports more in general.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more exciting, and like I don't know. I feel like some like pro sports are sometimes like fake, or like they don't like.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. I know what you mean. That.
NFC North leading. Green
Yeah,
Bay
I knew he was
Packers.
going to say that. I was going to ask him, but I knew I didn't have
8-2. Don't talk to me about Rodgers' vaccination status. I don't care.
Hey, just I'd be scared for when he's gone because that guy behind him is.
Yeah, that's sus.
That's not too promising.
Sussy
Face of the
Baca.
franchise.
Sussy Baca, right?
Yeah,
Sussy
for real,
Baca,
not a good
Jordan Love.
franchise quarterback behind Rodgers there.
We'll see. We'll figure it out.
All right, last one here. What is your favorite vacation spot?
Anywhere warm.
That's like half the planet, man. Come on, you gotta be more specific than that.
I went to Costa Rica, and
Ooh.
that was probably one of my favorite trips. But like a tourist spot, I've been to London, and that was like really fun.
Nice.
Coach Scott, how about you for that one?
This is going to be an off the beaten path answer. I always tell my junior classes, like, I'm a big history guy. Like, I know a lot of history facts. I watch a lot of history shows, documentaries, things like that. But I've never been to Washington, D.C. You know, in 7th grade when, my school class went, my parents didn't let me go. They didn't trust me in 7th grade to go to the nation's capital. So, like, I've always wanted to go back. And I always ask my class, and they've all been to Washington. They're like, oh, it's not that good. It's whatever. I really want to go and see the Capitol, see the White House. So not really a vacation spot, but I need to go to D.C. I've been to a lot of places in the United States, but for my honeymoon, we went to Europe. That was also awesome. Warm. I know Josh has very specific expectations for the warmth. But, yeah, I think Washington, D.C. is next on my checklist. I don't think my wife would be too thrilled with that, with 2 kids under 2, but it's important. History is important.
It's our nation's capital.
Absolutely.
All right. That is all for the Unscripted. So that's going to wrap up our first episode here.
Shout-outs? Do you have any
Yes,
shout-outs?
we got to bring
forgot
that
about
back.
that.
I
I
think
forgot we didn't do that
we didn't
last
do that
year.
last year.
Any teacher shout-outs? Nothing?
No, I got nothing.
No
Shout-out Delaney Grove for
Media Day.
helping us out with Media Day yesterday. It's always, a tall task. It's like, 35 minutes of pictures of Jen Uwalde, you know, before he lets the next person go. So, you know, she does a great job being patient, you know, and dealing with her little brother and all his friends and taking pictures. So she does a great job. So shout out D Grove, at D Grove Photos or at D Photos, whatever it is. You can find her. All right, just Google pictures of Bontje. You'll see a bunch of them breaking tackles and stuff. You know, mullet flowing out of the back of his helmet.
Still got it rocking, by the way. Still got it.
Might have to leave it.
What's the shelf life on this thing?
I'd leave it.
I'm leaving it until at least Christmas, and then I'll get a haircut around then. I don't know what I'm doing then.
I got to talk to Jim.
You don't like it? Not a fan.
I think it looks good on Josh. Yeah. I think it looks good on Josh. You know, personally, I think Danny Mac had the best one.
Danny Mac is elite. Danny Mac's elite.
McCoo never got it. Braden's kind of always had it, and he's got like the Shave Legends fade. Shout out Shave Legends. But you know, I don't know. It's better than some haircuts. I guess.
Cat kind of has like a little bit of it now too. Like his hair's just long. I don't know if it's just because it's longer, but he's got like a little bit, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and then I was talking to Curse's parents yesterday. He owes you a buzz cut, right? Can we make that public?
Curse.
You owe us a buzz cut. Get the clippers out, man. I'd be happy to do it. Bonch would be happy to do it.
I think that could definitely be a special for the podcast. Yeah, story. We could definitely make that happen.
I would love it. I'd love to do it.
I do have one shout out to my QB1, Jimmy McCoo. He got All-State.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
That is true. I did see that.
Love it. That's a good All-State team, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
If you're a college looking for a quarterback,
Jimmy McCoo.
He's out there.
Notes.
Take notes. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see you in the next one.